great Persian origin Rabbi. His name was Rabbi Moshe Cohen Shaoli, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. He was actually born in English year 1920 and passed away on the 1st of October in the year 1994, precisely on the 26th of Tishrei. He'd become a great Torah educator in of itself. He would become, let's say, the head Iranian rabbi in Israel, respectively. Let's say the Rav Rashi in of itself. And great rabbi, great author, a Torah author, would write various different Torah works. And one of the great rabbis of Ashdod, and will receive various Israeli prizes throughout his career. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. So, as we stated before, he was from Iran origin, but he himself was born in Jerusalem, in one of the 4 holy cities of Israel, and came from great heritage, great family heritage. His father's name was Benjamin, and really great parents he had. They actually, I believe, moved from the city of Shiraz in Iran to Jerusalem, I believe, in the year 1907. So that would have been about 13 years before he was born. And in fact, I believe his father actually helped founding the Shchunat Neve Shalom in Jerusalem over there, and he was the head, let's just say, at the Beit Knesset of that specific founding in of itself. So he founded that synagogue over there, a place actually on this channel we have visited, Nachlot neighborhood, because that's where it was, and we visited and actually filmed, actually, I believe, outside the synagogue in of itself, and was a place where many of the Persian origin people were settled in Jerusalem, would be able to pray. I believe he had 4 sisters before he was born. His father had 4 daughters before he was born, and his name Moshe happened to be his grandfather's name. Now, at a young age, he learned in famous Talmud Torah called the Doresh Tzion, where many of the great Rabbanim learned that in its specific time in of itself. And I think he would learn in the Shivat Sharei Rachamim. It was specific great Beit Midrash study hall. I think of Rabbi Rachamim Melamed Cohen, who was also another great Persian rabbi in his day, who we have spoken about on various different occasions. He happened to be the main Persian rabbi at that point in time in Jerusalem. And afterwards, he would learn in the famous Yeshivat Porat Yosef, let's say the bastion of the Sephardic yeshivas in Israel. And he would actually receive a rabbinic ordination over there. I think at the time period, it was Rosh Yeshiva was the famous Rabbi Ezra Atiyah, who we've spoken about on various occasions before. He also received, I think, rabbinic ordination from Rabbi Chugi Abudi, who was another great rabbi, and Rabbi Tzvi Yehuda Meltzer. It was really a galaxy of great rabbis. He would actually learn Kabbalah under the auspices of Rabbi Mordechai Shirabi and also Rabbi Yaakov Harumi. Also, these were great rabbis. Remember, we've spoken about Rabbi Mordechai Shirabi on various occasions, that he had that prominent Kabbalistic yeshiva called the Yeshivat Nahar Shalom, another place that we have visited on this channel only just about a month ago from the time of recording. He would learn education, how to, teach at a higher Torah level, let's just say. I think there was a special seminar for this, for educating teachers called the Mizrahi. And I think he actually learned how to teach over, let's say, various subjects, as well as Torah, but also subjects such as philosophy, Judaism, Jewish history, and let's say many of the sciences involved in that, within regards to these different characters. And I think this was in the Hebrew University, if I'm not mistaken, in Jerusalem. He took courses over there. He would actually teach various different subjects inside the Yeshivat Shaarei Tzion, which we spoke about before. This was obviously the famous yeshiva in Jerusalem, which I think was actually founded by the famous former Rishon LeZion chief rabbi, Rabbi Ben Zion Meir Chai Uziel in Jerusalem, which we've actually mentioned him also before on various different occasions. He would teach various different subjects over there, and he would actually take on various different prominent positions, let's say from a governmental point of view. I believe he was a secretary of the chief rabbi at the time of Israel, Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Halevi Herzog. I think he spent a period of time working in collaboration with him. This was in Jerusalem, in Israel at one stage in time, and he was very, very connected to many of the people. I think there was a synagogue called the Shaoli Bakashi. This was a synagogue in Nachlaot, which I think was actually founded through his family, through his father at one stage in time. So he had prominent connections very much so over there. And I think later on he would actually move with his family to the city of Rehovot, and he would teach, I think, inside the let's say the study school of the Mizrahi, also for the boys of that city. And later on, I think he would help in founding the Bet Sefer called Moriah for girls over there, another with a religious Jewish framework. And there was also, I think, a school founded for boys, and they would actually collaborate, the two schools, the boys and girls one. I think they were connected together to some different degrees. And he would teach and really be a inspirational teacher for many. I believe he also assisted at that point in time Rabbi Tzvi Yehuda Meltzer with regards to the formation of the Yeshivat Hadarom, and within regards to bringing also various of the first students that would actually live there. He actually, I believe, served also in the Givati section of the Israeli army, Tzahal, as they say. Unfortunately, I think he did get injured inside when there was a time period when there was a battle, let's just say, with Gaza. But I would please, if anyone can find out more information on that, let me know. Various different synagogues, I think, were put under his name. I think in Rehovot, there was a big Knesset of the Sephardi synagogue called the Magen Abraham, and other big Knessets, I think, which actually brought about people from Turkey, Bulgarian communities. And this he actually founded, and I think they put it under the name of the famous Rabbi Uziel, who was a chief rabbi who mentioned before, who he actually learned in his various different courses also. So this was a synagogue he helped in establishing in the memory of Rabbi Uziel. And he would take on various different topics and help within regards to the Aliyah when people were coming actually from Yemen or from various other different places within the vicinities. Then afterwards, he would actually move to the city of Ashdod, and he would actually once again found the Bet Sefer over there, the study school called the Moriah. Also over there, like we mentioned before, he did that over there, and various different organizations which are very important. I think he was part of the Moatzot Ha'ir, the city foundation, let's just say in of itself, the structure between the years 1974 to 1989. And he was the president, I think, of the organization called the B'nai Brit, which is very interesting enough. This, I think there was various organizations he was heading within regards to the Iranian community. And he was helping, I think, at that point in time, let's just say people, there was a wave of Aliyah coming from Russia, from Ethiopia, and various different places. He was helping integrate the people and bring them to the various vicinities in Israel. And various other different things can be actually mentioned within regards to him. He actually received various prizes also from the Israeli state. I think the city of Ashdod in itself gave him the Yakir Ha'ir Ashdod award. And he got various different, let's say, Chינוך Dati awards from the Israeli government, and he received, I think, a prize, let's say, from the Tsar Hadatot, and he got a Pras Shapira. It was called a very prominent prize at that point in time, and later on he will receive even more prizes. I think from Avner Chai Shaki would actually give him, I think, at that point in time, I believe he was the Tsar Hadatot at the time in the Israeli government. Now, he passed away on Chaf Vav Tishrei. This was, I think, around the year 1994, 1995, so approximately 30 years ago. He passed away, and he was buried in Har HaMenuchot cemetery in Jerusalem. And I think various different commemorations were put in his memory, including, I believe, the area of Ashdod, the municipality. They would actually associate under his name the Ulpanat Ranit Mada'it Lebanot in Ashdod. And also, I think his name was actually commemorated within regards to a street in Rehovot and in Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken, also possibly in Ashdod, but I'll have to double check that also. He left great descendants also. Among his descendants was Rabbi Moshe. I believe he himself got married to Rabbanit Aznat Bechora. And he had other descendants also, including Benjamin, Benjamin Cohen, Shaoli, and left various different, I think his also other sons included Rabbi Gidon Cohen Shaoli, who became a great educator in Ashdod, if I'm not mistaken. And but much more can be related within regards to the great family in a bit of. I very much recommend everyone to research about the great family. And it's interesting, he left many great different Torah works. And let's explore some of them now, including the Marpa'ah HaBasem. This was based, I think, on refuah, on healings, let's just say, Jewish healings. And I think he actually uses the teachings of the Rambam, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was also, I think it was actually printed in various different languages. And it came out in the year 1987. And then there was Arugot HaBasem, which is another great book, the Rech HaBasem. And then there was Soror HaBasem, and which I think was based on 9 different subjects. The Pirchei HaBasem, this was another great book, the Shiblei HaBasem, and the Hagigei HaBasem, and Sufei HaBasem, Haggadat HaBasem, which was the Haggadah, Shel Pesach. Obviously, Pesach is the Jewish Passover, which celebrate between 15th to 22nd of Nisan. And the Rozei HaBasem, the Ma'or HaBasem, which was, I think, on Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And actually, is his Hilula. On Yud Chet Yard, Leg Ba'omer, Netzach HaBasem, which was, I think, one of the last books. I think it was actually written in Jerusalem. The Avat HaBasem, another great teaching of himself, the Aviv HaBasem, which was, I think, on the, let's say, the worldly Jewish calendar of the entire year, the Archei HaBasem, and the Netzivei HaBasem. So there was really, I think, after he passed away, manuscripts were gathered into the Zahar HaBasem, Ziv HaBasem, Hachmat HaBasem, Nichochot HaBasem, Shachar HaBasem, Torah HaBasem, various different teachings. But it was, the teachings were actually put under that specific name in of itself, and it is Hilula here on Chaf Vav Tishrei, that's 26th of Tishrei, naturally, one of the great rabbis. So this include, let's say, Shem series was actually put into one great book in himself. I believe that those were probably different various sections in of itself. So please don't forget to light candles in his memory, the great rabbi, one of the great Persian rabbis. We've already covered in this series about 20 rabbis from Iran. We've covered about nearly 500 rabbis already, so absolutely amazing. And we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear, and wishing you all well. Take care and be well.